Hey people, welcome back to my stream, and we're gonna start Sena's route. It's already 2:13, and I was supposed to like start an hour earlier, but anyway, I'm only gonna stream until like around 4. Then we'll whatever I finish, wherever I stop, I'll just continue after dinner. I do intend to finish everything by today, or at least like continuous. I'll do a continuous stream. So this is gonna be like, you know. Anyway, let's get started. Let's go to main menu. Let's see, Sena route. So the first thing that we need to worry about is in chapter 3. So we'll start a new game as always, and I will shop for an instant pot while I wait for this to get to somewhere relevant. I'll be right back. Positive, let's go. Yes. Yes. I'm guessing this is the thing you need in order to get Rimi's route up. But this is the next route anyway. We're gonna have Rimi's route next, but right now we're gonna worry about Sena's route. And considering it starts at chapter 1, hopefully there are tons of new scenes, man. We're talking about the canonical best girl of this game, man. Alright, maybe best girl isn't alright for you guys. I mean, she is for me, but she's the canonical love interest. I already love hearing Nana's voice, man. Flatness, justice. I would normally say no, but we are going to Sena's route. Yes, this is true. Yes, but it's not the route we're going for right now. We're already done with this route. Where's my tab on Instant Bot? I was supposed to buy an Instant Bot right now. It's kind of rare to see someone wear a long skirt nowadays, right? I mean, I don't know. When I went to Japan, everyone was like wearing a little above the knee, but they were so thin that but they're also so thin, so the effect is like they're wearing a long skirt, except you see their knees, ankles. I mean, shins. I don't know what the hell you call that anymore. My brain is off. That's why I'm drinking coffee. But anyway, yeah, Mia was a normal Japanese high school girl. Why is this my topic right now? I'm distracted from buying an Instant Pot. I'm looking for a new one. 6 quarts. Do I need 6 quarts? Let me actually go to the main website before I check some shitty thread in Reddit. Pause it, let's go. I think Sena's starts at like I didn't know Instant Pot was in the same place as Pyrex. I don't need an air fryer. Chris. That's interesting. What is that? 8-quart, maybe 8-quart. Maybe, I don't know the size I'm looking for. Or just gonna skip this because this is not important in life. In anyone's life, that is. Wait, what's the trigger? Let me remember the trigger to activate this entire application. It actually swung. Chapter 3. Okay, chapter swung. No, not this tab. Positive. Let's go.
Ne, Naito Haruto.
Why do people translate his name as Night Heart? I know it sounds like, or maybe it literally is the English of Night Heart. It's like, I don't know. It's like translating Rikishi 07 as Dragon Knight 07. I'm like, who the fuck is Dragon Knight 07? And then I realized it's like, oh, it's Rikishi 07. It's kind of weird. Oh, there, I think this is the trigger. She actually swung the sword. Okay. This is supposed to go neutral. Cowering on the spot, I cover my head. If I hadn't dodged it, it would have hit my head for sure. I doubt it would have cut me, but with that kind of force behind it, it would have given me a concussion and permanently dented my skull. I hate pain. I hated pain. I was so shaken that my speech got all messed up. All right, this is where we start. Girl B looked down at me. Holy. Oh, this is not new. This chick wasn't normal, waving a sword around in the middle of a crowd. Wait. Was she in the midst of a hit and run? Was she a spree killer? Or could she be the new gen culprit? Or the demon girl's accomplice? Alright, questions. Please let me ogle you more. Yes? Really? Oh, well, yes. If it's with this girl, I'm willing to get down on my knees, hands and knees, and beg with all my heart and soul. What? What is the set of questions, man? If given the choice, I prefer to be. Fuck. Did you watch the latest episode of Rian, wherein the old man was being stepped on by Korean for some reason, and for some reason I don't know why she was stepping on his ass, particularly his ass. I don't know why. This is the yes. This is the third option, right? I got nothing against a little swordplay, if you know what I mean. What is this set of questions, man? All right, this is the last one. She's gonna kill me with that sword either way. No. What the hell is the first four? Yes.
助けて
Soda flavor gotta get gura gari. Gura gari kun? Oh, I thought it was gari gari kun. It was that's how I heard it. So it was gura gari kun.
殺さないで
The next thing I knew, I was trembling. It felt like I was this close to pissing myself out of sheer terror.
何を勘違いしている？私はただ、見えるのかと聞いているだけだ。
What the hell was she talking about? If I said I couldn't see it, would she kill me? How was I supposed to answer if I didn't even know what I was supposed to be seeing?
少し落ち着け。もう一度聞くぞ。
Yo, Kazusa's talking to me right now.
この剣。ディソードが見えるのか？
え
Disordo. It was the first time I ever heard that word. It had to be referring to the sword she was holding, but all right, let me go back to instant bed shopping. Skip Chad. Her route, man, her route. It's still, you know, I mean, it's today. I played it today, but it's still in my mind. It's like, whoa, she they just go were straight up murdering though. That's so fucked up, man. It happens. Yo, Bestimoto. I'm just really happy when I hear that sound. I'm really happy. Not gonna lie. Oh, this is a scene with Sena, but it's not like there's something gonna happen anyway. Oh, okay, here's a new scene. A solitary train car stood stock still near Shibuya Station. It was a car that was open to public, with many referring to it as Green Parag. Okay, we kind of had this conversation before, but I'm going to read it anyway. Aoi Sena sat inside of it. Biting her thumbnail, she looked out the window and watched the passerby with disinterest. She and Nishijo Takumi had spoken in length yesterday on this very... Okay, this is a purely new scene. On this very train. And today she had come here once again. She hadn't gone to school. Attendance was the least of her worries. She was constantly driven by feelings of impatience. As a result, she would often get very irritated with others, leading her to fairly harsh behavior toward them. Yeah, I know she's an impatient girl and very emotional. Actually, she's very emotional and very impatient, which is a stark contrast to whatever her dad is. Until he really got mind broken by all the shit, you know.
どこにいる頭
Her voice welled with hatred, all of it directed toward a single individual. She dug a hand into her school uniform pocket and took out a piece of paper. I don't get why she still has to she would wear her uniform outside of school when school is in session. What is it? Isn't I heard there's like some sort of neighborhood whatever you call it, you know, they would catch people who were wearing uniforms outside on a regular day, you know, when you're supposed to be in school. So this is kind of weird for me. But anyway, she's a gigamaniac, so she could probably be. I actually don't know. You know, let's not think about it. It's too hard right now. It was a small, crumpled scrap of paper torn from a memo pad. Written on it was something resembling an algebraic formula. The letters were faded and dull, perhaps due to aging, or perhaps because it had been written in pencil. Only one part remained barely legible, and that was IR2. It was the scribblings of Sena's father from long ago. Needless to say, she did not exactly treat it like a holy artifact. Instead, she simply kept it close so she could always remember the hatred she held for her father. Sena's family was once a happy one. However, the moment her father had scrawled a certain formula onto this piece of paper, slowly, silently, yet certainly, madness began to envelope everything. Sena's father had once been a corporate scientist. Sena had been just an elementary school student at that time. And while she did not understand the type of work her father did, she knew he was always busy. He was rarely home. Occasionally, he would come home and show his affectionate side, but that almost never lasted even a day. He would be back to work before anyone knew it. It was not that she disliked her father, but she was a little disappointed to find that she could not think of a single time her family had ever sat down for a meal together. Okay, real life segue. So I kind of remember that old coworker who was kind of like that. You know, the type that goes to a work site or the office at 1 a.m. on a Sunday, and there wasn't like an emergency. What the fuck is that, man? Anyway, let's go to the end of this. Then came a day about 6.5 years ago, where her father returned home from work. Unlike his usual calm and collected self, he had been brimming with excitement.
セナ、父さんはすごい発見をしたぞ。これはノーベル賞どころの騒ぎじゃない。
何がそんなにすごいの？
この公式はこれまでの世界の仕組みをも変えるだろう。それほどの大発見なんだ。
As he spoke, he held the memo pad before Senna's eyes. Written on it was the LIR2 equation.
ずっと探していたんだよ。父さんではどうしても思いつけなかった。プロジェクトノアは停滞していた。手詰まりだった。だがこの方式があれば計画は次の段階に進めるんだ。まさかあんなところで見つけるなんて思いもしなかったよ。これはまさに信仰の救いだね。
He really is a member of the church, Cosmic Church of Divine Light. The mere fact he literally says divine light, I thought he was just like some scientist dude working for Nozomi, but he is literally a member of the Cosmic Church of Divine Light. Oh yeah, I did. Yeah. Oh yeah. The the reason he placed his wife in the experiment in the first place was because the Divine Father had like commanded and shit.
東京駅だ。たまたま通りかかったんだ。本当に偶然だった。セナは東京駅に行ったことはあったかな。やたら広いだろあの駅の構内は。
Not gonna lie, the first time I went to Tokyo Station, I got lost. Can't wait to go back to Shinjuku Station, where no matter how many times I've been to Shinjuku Station, like I have a general understanding of the layout, but it's different when you're there. You somehow get lost. Like if you're looking for the West Gate, you have an idea where it is. But when you go inside, it's like, where the fuck do I walk? Like the signs aren't even helpful. Even the signs aren't helpful. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with Shinjuku Station? Anyway, we were talking about Tokyo Station, but it's that's something you kind of get after like 2, 3 visits because it's part of your commute. Anyway, let's continue.
その構内の一角にたくさんの作文が展示されていたんだ。文部省の全国なんとか作文コンクールとかそんな名前の展覧会だったよ。優秀な子供たちの作文が飾ってあってね。セナ知ってるかい？もしかして応募したりしたかい？
わかんない。多分知らない。
セナが出ればきっとセナも優秀作品に選ばれていたんじゃないかな。
そんなことないよ。私、作文は苦手。
そうか？もっと自信を持つべきだと思うがな。
ねえ、作文がすごい大発見だったんだ。
いやー、違う違う。そうじゃないんだ。作文なんてどうでもいいんだよ。重要だったのはその裏に書かれていた落書きなんだ。そこに飾られていた作文は透明のプラスチックの額に収められていてね、裏側も見ることができた。それは多分演出とかそういうものじゃない。たまたま透明なだけだったんだろうね。きっと主催者には作文の裏の落書きを見せようなんて気はなかったはずなんだ。だからこの公式を父さんが見る確率はそれこそ天文学的数字だったわけさ。これが奇跡というやつなのかな。
I wonder if like this IR2 formula was like something invented through a delusion. And what I mean by that, like before Nishijiro Takumi, the real guy, the real one, had deluded himself to create this formula. Was this formula even a valid formula until he diluted it? I think it literally as a product of his delusion that's why he was able to create it. But then again, we're talking about like supposedly Einstein's a gigalomaniacs. That's why I have no idea, man. It's like the E equals MC squared bullshit. I don't get it.
公式っていうことは算数なんだね。
ああ、そうだよ。すごく難しい算数だ。
算数で世界を変えられちゃったりするのかな。
It's kind of weird because you know when you get a formula like this, it's kind of weird if you look at the final result. The things about that makes them, you know, if you see the final result, you'll be like, okay, it's there. And without the proof included, it's just like an actual person who is actually mathematically inclined will find this a little bit dubious. But I don't know, maybe he randomly just looked at it and fiddled around, and like without the proof, it's kind of weird. I don't get it. I don't know. I don't work in this. I haven't dabbled in. I had to play around with equations in order to just like discover like a new form of like equation. It's been a while since I did that, so I don't know. Anyway, let's continue.
ああ、変えられるよ。父さんの研究はね、世界を変えることなんだ。
ほんと？信じられないな。
いつか証明してあげるよ。見ていてくれ、セナ。
It had been over 6.5 years since that day. Gritting her teeth together, Sena shoved the paper back in her pocket. She gazed through the window and her eyes focused on the dull sky above. Undoubtedly, the world would change soon, just as her father had said. Sena's own world had already undergone many drastic changes. Vileness, havoc. Everywhere you looked, you would find more. It had become an unfathomably hideous place.
そんな世界は作らせない。奴を殺して私が止めてやる。
All right, I'm gonna buy. I already figured out which instant pot I want to buy now. Positive delusion, so we can skip this. It has an air fryer. It's a built-in air fryer and pressure cooker. The older instant pots would have like a separate like attachment to it, so you could use the air fryer function. But this one is like already built in, so this is super new. I might be killing myself trying to get something new that. Well, some people have already left some reviews, so it might be worth checking it out. Incusioni. Oh. Atoeba. My phone. Oh wait, let me watch this. This is like a true God wish that were me moment. God wish that were me. Too bad that was a delusion. But you know, because Remy is a mind reader, she totally saw that shit. You know, I wouldn't be surprised. One of the reasons she fell in love with Daku was she saw his delusions and she was like, "That's kind of hot." That's stupid shit. Some stupid idea, man. But I was thinking to myself, why the hell would she be like, why the hell would she be willing to be like, I mean, she could see that shit going on, so you I know, man. All right. I ordered my Instant Pot. It should arrive by tomorrow. But I won't be able to use it until like Tuesday because I just cooked some curry. I just cooked some curry for lunch. I was originally trying to make dry curry and it was like whatever. I wish I went with my usual recipe, but anyway, I'll try that with an Instant Pot. I'm actually excited for the air fryer function. I have to just figure out how to make rotisserie French rotisserie chicken. Why is Amazon like recommending me like a couple of Elena doll figures? I mean, I like Elena, but ooh, $20 prize figure. Taito. Oh, okay. Kind of tempting. Let me check this out and then let's see. Thank God there's a lot of Elena figures. Oh, there's gonna be a wedding version. Wait, what's this?
お前だな。
Oh man. Oh man. The PTSD, man. Why is there a lot of? Why is Elena really has a lot of Taito figs? Interesting. Oh, we're close to the part where we have to. Oh shit! I'll worry about this later then. Being distracted by Elena's figures. All right, let's see. I saw a sword. Yes, I distinctly saw a sword. Yes. No. No. This should be yes. Yes. Alright. Skip Chud. What's the next seed? I was expecting a lot more from Sena. Oh well. I'm gonna put all in for Rimi's route. Put all in Rimi's route, man. It's already 2:49. How's that going for me? Oh well, I did order an instant pot at least, so that's kind of productive. But we want to be productive in terms of like the game.
5分くらいなのら。
Wait. Let me skip this. I already messed that up. Okay.
Ah, よかったらどうぞ。
Gariguri-kun? Was that correct? Gariguri. Oh. Oh, okay. There's something new in the scene. Let's kind of skip it. It's gonna be the same until we. Yeah, I think this is about Sena. Sena's gonna be stalking him or something. I'm gonna manually skip. Let me manually skip. I think we're getting close to something. I'm already starting to look into. I'm starting to look into stuff I shouldn't be looking at. I mean, I shouldn't buy a new barber coat. I shouldn't. I already have one. Oh, we did confirm in Kozubi's
お
route
前
that
が望むと望まないとにかかわらず、もしこれ以上踏み込んでくるようなら、負を生にするぐらいの強い意識を持つんだな。
Yeah, this is what happened. This is what. Okay, this is important because this is what happened to Kozubi and well, more in Kozubi than Takumi because Kozubi literally couldn't come up with like couldn't be positive. She went full negative. She just went full negative. I think one of the reasons why Ayase was unable to be like, she didn't have much of a hard time. I think one of the reasons why Ayase wasn't able to, you know, protect herself from descending full on for the negative is because in her world she could actually visualize the negativity of stuff. So that was lucky. That was lucky for Ayase, but for Kozubi, she went full negative, man. She just allowed herself to go full negative, man.
中途半端な気持ちじゃ妄想に食われるだけだぞ。
Which is exactly what happened in the previous route we played. Kozubi went full. Her delusions fully devoured her to the point that she even went on to kill Sena herself, even if she didn't want to, because her disordo, quote unquote, controlled her to the point that she killed Sena. She even dislocated herself just to kill Sena, man. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm even pondering about, like, I'm thinking about what the fuck Remy. I still find it weird where when Remy just like went full. Remy just went like, you know, Remy just like, holy shit. I don't know I don't know what the hell happened to Remy, man. I mean, I know she wants to kill Takumi, but it's way too early. Like, at the very least, you know, they deal with Noah too. Although, I actually kind of thought about this a little bit a while ago. Although she was like, no, I don't think it's the Noah 2 thing. I mean, in other routes, or at least the A and B, we know that one of the reasons why she has a hard time trying to proceed with her plan to eliminate Taku is she fell in love with him and all. So are you saying in Kozoe's route she just, I don't know, there's something wrong. I don't know, there's something weird that there's something weird that went down there. And I really don't think it's it's sufficient enough that Suwa and everyone else was straight up just, you know, and the porters were straight up just deluding everyone in the school. She just, I don't know. I don't think that was a strong enough reason. And it's not like Remy wasn't well aware of like everything that was going on with like the Nozomi stuff. Like, you know, that was weird. That's one of my major complaints, unless somehow this route or Remy's route explains it. I mean, you know what? Maybe the too early stuff wasn't like a strong enough like consideration, but there were two things holding her back. Like, one was like the Noah 2 thing, but you could argue against it because in both A and B, she decided to like deal with it on her own. But the prerequisite for that was the whole conversation when she told Takumi that he's a delusion, he's a being made out of delusion. And the second one was like, you know, her feelings for Takumi. You know? Then, what the hell exactly happened in the school? What? I don't know. Is it because she saw the blood on Takumi's blazer? And it's not like, and remember, she's a mind reader, right? So she would have known it wasn't Takumi who did this. So that really kind of felt like something that it didn't sit right to me. There was something, it wasn't and then flow right to me. Anyway, with Sena. Yesterday when the two of us had gone our separate ways, she gave me that piece of advice. She definitely knew something. She also had a Disardo. She seemed strong too. Would she be my savior? If not, I was doomed. Okay, so this is where Takumi started thinking about Sena as someone he could help him out. The following day, I made my way to the front of the station. I guess yeah. In all honesty, I really didn't want to go back there. After all the traumatic Esper BS, the front of Shibuya station brought back nothing but bad memories. Adding to my stress, just like usual, there were way too many people. The area around Hachiko was absolutely infested with normies loitering around. Everyone kept glancing at me and sneering as they pointed their phones at me. I'm surprised that he also didn't have like the paranoia problem here if they kept pointing their phones to him. But I have a feeling it's because all the paranoia stuff was something influenced by his time with Kozoe. Remember, all these events, all the other events that you saw, he Shogun or Takumi was still seeing those events, was still seeing the player events based on like what happened after Takumi received his Lee sword. So he saw the exact same events that I saw, that we the players see. So, you know, since and here he's not like overreacting or being paranoid. But when I turned around to look away, my eyes wandered toward the towering O front, the very building where I had committed social suicide only a few days ago. See, he isn't as bothered. But then again, like one of the impetus of his paranoia was that Suo was making an active effort to like put the delusion in his brain that, you know, someone's taking pictures and Shogun was there. Oh, I guess it really is a thing in Sume Academy. There's a girl wearing a short skirt and there was a long skirt girl. I guess it's whatever they feel like, I guess. Anyway, videos covering every angle of the night continue to make rounds on the internet. They would likely continue to spread across the world for all eternity. Erasing them was pretty much impossible at this point. I was going to spend the rest of my life as the internet's favorite punchline. I was so frustrated, angry, and sad. It made me want to get as far away from it as I possibly could. But knowing Shogun would kill me the second I tried to escape, I was forced to painstakingly stand my ground. I cautiously stepped into the train carriage known as the Green Frog, trying my hardest to avoid looking at my surroundings. Why do we always start with a view of her legs, man, and her hair? This is one of those eyes up moments, guys. Unsurprisingly, there she sat, Aoi Sena, the train's sole passenger. It took me a minute, but I realized the reason why no one else was in the car was likely due to Sena's own handiwork. She used her Gigulomaniacs power, or whatever they were.
お前か。エラーを見つけたのか。
Taking my head lightly, I handed her the Gariguri-kun I bought in advance from the local konbini. It was my way of getting my foot into the door. Here, I know it's not much, but I hope you like it. Oh? No, please don't worry about it. Thank you very much. And that's how it would go, all according to the stupid-ass Japanese custom. But even though I knew it was idiotic, not even I would stoop as low as to ask for protection without giving something in return. I don't know, that's what you did in the other routes, man. Or maybe he's much more cognizant of how to do it, because we're talking about Sena here. She's a much more logical person. Logical person who is also very emotional. Prone to emotional outbursts. As payment for her services, I would give her 3 crunchy kuns a day. It was an offer even Sena couldn't refuse. Really?
くれるのか。ありがとう。
She accepted it with surprising little resistance. Whee! Everything was going according to plan. Are you serious, man?
西条は何味が好きだ。私は断然ソーダ味だ。
Sena excitedly tore open the wrapping and took out the popsicle. It might have been just my imagination, but it almost looked like her mouth had curved into a slight smile. Man, just how obsessed with those things are you? You're practically asking for a stomachache.
僕はコーラ味。
なんだと。コーラ味なんて邪道だ。ふざけるな。
You know what? This conversation is fully Kazusa, man. It is like a re-simulation of Kazusa to me. Like, Kazusa would would get angry at the most petty things possible.
すいません。
I made her mad. I thought about telling her off for getting upset over something trivial. but I figured it better keep my mouth shut.
それで
Taking a bite out of her garikuri-kun, Sena shifted her probing gaze to me.
私に何か用か
Why did she have to be so intimidating? The look in her eyes could turn me into stone. All I wanted was to ask for help, but it felt like the sheer anxiety alone was gonna kill me. I was already bad enough at talking to 3D girls as it is. I took a few deep breaths, and I just barely managed to calm myself down.
僕を助けてほしい。
どういう意味だ
僕はニュージェネの真犯人に、狙われてる。この前話したでしょ。将軍っていうやつなんだ。僕はきっとそいつに思考盗撮されてる。
思考盗撮かそいつ何者だ
知るもんか。僕が聞きたいぐらいだ。
この渋谷で思考盗撮できる連中なんて限られてるギガロマニアックスかあるいは望みの連中か
望み
Alright, here we go. This is the backstory stuff we were looking for.
望みテクノロジープロジェクトノアによって世界を手に入れようとしてる
What was she on about? It sounded like some kind of conspiracy theory. But Shogun could be a member of that organization. The Committee of 300?
僕を助けてよ。頼むよ。
I felt myself rapidly shrinking further into despair. I wanted something, anything to cling onto, something that would save me. Sena took another bite of her garikuri-kun, then furrowed her brow.
言ったはずだ中途半端な気持ちで踏み込むなら妄想に食われるとお前には覚悟があるか
ないよ。あるわけないだろ。僕がただ助けてくれって言ってるんだ。こんなのもううんざりなんだ。なんで僕ばっかり。
Sap of all my willpower, I fell to my knees. Don't do this to me. Just protect me. What do you want me to do? I don't want to do anything anymore.
覚悟はなしか
I felt her cold glare pierce through me. I could clearly just... What? I could clearly tell just how pathetic I was being. Sorry, I'm having like maybe this is dyslexia or something. I have no idea. I could clearly tell just how pathetic I was being. So all I could do at that point was hang my head in shame.
だがその将軍というやつは気になるなもし望みの人間ならニュージェネ事件も連中が起こしてるということかだとしたらそれを捨ておくわけには
With a frown, Sena muttered that to herself as she looked out the window. She seemed to be deep in thought, but she kept chewing on the gariguri-kun regardless. Not longer after I said something, Sena suddenly got up from her seat. She was now standing in front of me.
私に守ってほしいのか
Damn it. She was always looking down on me. Did this bitch have a dominatrix fetish or something? Despite insulting her inside my head, I gave her a meek nod.
それはつまり私とお前はこれから行動を共にするという意味だそれでもいいんだな
As long as you protect me, anything's fine. Protecting myself from Shogun's attack was my highest priority right now.
本当に守ってくれるなら文句は言わない
決まりだ
Sena extended her hand toward me. I stared blankly at those delicate fingers of hers, unsure of what they were trying to convey. Growing impatient, Sena grabbed my hand and pulled me up. Our eyes met, if only for an instant. Having our gazes intertwined at such a short distance made me frantically avert my eyes. She then let go of my hand.
じゃあ行くぞ。
And then, as if to spur me on forward, turn her back to me.
行くってどこへ？
のぞみテクノロジーの本社だ。
He's gonna go straight up to the fight.
は？
これから乗り込む。
Infiltrate? Like, into the enemy base? No. What? What was the stupid bitch thinking? Did she have a death wish? Wow. This was game over, God. God, I was such an idiot for thinking I could rely on her. Like hell I was going anywhere near there. I wanted nothing to do with this. I wasn't the kind of person to just waltz right on into my dad. I was the type of person who would tell someone, wow, that plan fucking sucks, and then ditch them. Ignoring my look of disbelief, Sena strolled briskly out of the door. However, I, meanwhile, stayed right where I was, refusing to budge an inch. Suddenly, I realized I could no longer move my arms. I glanced down at my body. Before I could even blink, a white chain had coiled around my body, and on top of that, it was wrapped around me very, very tight. Even when I tried to force it off, it refused to budge an inch. All right, here we go. Here we go. This is the dominatrix route. Who the? When the? What the? How did this even happen?
ぐずぐずするな。
Senna poked her head out of the window, then urged me to come quickly. I felt the chain wrap around my body being tugged. I tried to resist, but I no longer had full control of my body. The chain led outside the train carriage, and then when it reached Senna's hand, she was holding it. She was the one pulling me. So this is what the Queen's lame exhibitionist humiliation roleplay is like. I see. Wait, no, it was nothing like that. What the fuck? God damn it. I was such an idiot for thinking I could rely on Senna. I clearly picked the wrong person for this. Someone, help me. I can't take this anymore. Jesus Christ. Nozomi's main branch was apparently within walking distance of Shibuya Station, but my mental strength had already been completely drained before we even reached it. After all, Sena had been parading me around right smack in the middle of Shibuya. It went without saying that practically every cell phone in existence had been pointed at me, and with that, my dark past had grown even darker. There was definitely a thread about it at channel by now. Esper Nishijo indulging in puppy play with a black hair beaut, and she the DQ ends were never gonna let me hear the end of this. No matter how much I pleaded with Sena, she refused to remove the change.
今のお前にとって必要なのは目立つことだ。今のところその目的は達成されてるだろ。
She was constantly sprouting all sorts of nonsensical reasoning like that. Seriously, what kind of bullshit logic was that? Anzai sensei, I want to be the man who stands out from the crowd. Had I asked her anything like that? No. I fucking hadn't. Jesus Christ, he was thinking about Anzai sensei right now. That's a good reference. Strolling right into the enemy base. What the hell was she thinking? What could be killed? We could be killed at any moment. Completely ignoring my complaints, Sena casually entered the fancy building, dragging me right along with her. After all, the chain had given me no choice in the matter. They really gone and did that. Holy shit. What is... This is literally... What the fuck is going on, guys? The grandeur of the Expanse lobby standing before me took my breath away. The Nozomi Group. It apparently became one of Japan's leading conglomerates. A place like this was so far removed from the life of a student like me. It felt like a completely different world. I never set foot in a building quite like it before. The size of the lobby, the practical enshrinement of the hot grills at the reception desk, I had to take a moment to breathe. Wait, we were in a company workplace. Shouldn't it have been off limits to unauthorized personnel? Oh wait, in the anime this is what they did, right? Yeah, I think this is what they did in the anime. They literally straight up went to Nozomi and but they used Sena used her Gigawamaniac's ability. Yeah, that's what they did. Yeah, that's what they did. But in the anime they did it with it was the three of them, Sena, Nishijo, and Kozoe. So here is just the two of them. That's interesting. They took inspiration from the anime. That's interesting. Both Sena and I were wearing sume uniforms, so we were very obviously high school students. Not only that, but I was wrapped in a chain too. We were practically screaming that we were intruders. For Sena to disregard this and enter the building like she owned the place, I began to doubt her sanity. Yeah, I just think it's a good thing I watched the anime on this part because I remembered she did disguise herself. So I'm guessing that's that's what she's doing right now. The moment we entered through the automatic doors, I made eye contact with one of the receptionists.
帰ろうよ。
I was hesitant to go any further than we already had, but Sena didn't stop moving.
心配するな。
We moved past the reception desk and headed toward the elevator in the back, and nobody had said a word to us. What the hell? Sena didn't get on the elevator though. Instead, she chose to go to the fire exit near the hall. Beyond the gate was a dimly lit emergency staircase, and that was where she finally stopped.
周囲は私たちを望みの社員だと思い込んでる。
Suddenly, before I could even blink, the pressure of my body disappeared. When I looked down, I saw that the chain around me had vanished without a trace. The next thing I saw was the D-Sordo in Sena's hand. Was that chain just a delusion? Sena had real booted using her Gigawamaniac's power. So Sena had sent antiparticles into my dead spots, this time making the real booted chain instantly disappear.
のぞみの社員と思ってるってどういう
Duh, the power of delusions.
そう思い込ませた。肉眼で私たちを見た人間全員にな。
She made them? She could do that? Sena then looked up at the top of the staircase. Something resembling a surveillance camera was installed there. It had a red light affixed to it, and it let out an eerie sound as it surveyed the room. Okay, maybe her doing this is important because Rumi is like a super Gigawamaniac, so she's capable of a lot of Gigawamaniac's power. Oh. Would that mean that at some point in the main story she also did this in front of Takumi? I mean, it's totally possible. She was probably even invisible most of the time. So she was actually watching Takumi most of the time, but I actually don't know what happens in Rumi's route. So it's interesting that the suggested route order had you knowing these things. But, you know, she's a strong Gigawamaniac.
監視カメラにも思い込ませることってできるの？
やろうと思えばできるかもな。試したことはない。それにやる必要もない。
なんでバレちゃうじゃないか。ありえない。スニーキングミッションでは監視カメラを最初に壊すでしょ。常識的に考えて。
No. If you do that, it will alert. In the game with a very good stealth system, doing that will just set the entire area to caution or warning. Well, everyone who played a video game before, at least.
言っただろ。お前が目立つことが必要なんだ。
And that's exactly what I don't get. Aren't you contradicting yourself? You made them assume we're Nozomi employees in order to camouflage us, but then you turn around and say you need to stand out. Which is it? What exactly are you trying to do? All everyone ever does is speak in riddles. Do you ever think I'm an idiot or something? Do you all think I'm an idiot or something? What do you all think to yourselves? Even if I try to explain it, he won't get it. You are, aren't you? Fuck you. Damn it. I'm smart, people. My IQ is absolutely higher than Sena's, no doubt about it. As I bit my lip in frustration, Sena took off on her own up the stairs, leaving me behind to continue seating. Did this girl have actual interest in protecting me? No, she didn't. After all, she already put me in harm's way by dragging me into this building. But regardless of her intentions, I just wish she stopped rushing ahead on her own. She could at least tell me where she was going, and what she was trying to do. Just give me some sort of explanation, please. Why were we using the staircase instead of the elevator anyway? I sucked at exercising.
エレベーターに乗るのは自殺行為だ。
Sena's voice rang out from above me. Had she read my mind? Wait, she's a mind reader? I thought it was only Kozuki and Rimi. With a sigh, I started heading up the stairs toward her voice. Wait, if she's an actual mind reader, that basically means he read his mind all this time. Sena was waiting 2 stories above me. As soon as it got up, she started climbing again. Wait, if she's a mind reader, so the entire time she's fully aware of what the hell Takumi is thinking.
敵の本拠地でエレベーターに乗ったら
She-
閉じ込められて身動きが取れなくなるのがオチだろ。
Oh, okay. This is her just explaining, because I don't think she's a mind reader, unlike Kosubi and Rimi.
それはそうだけど。
それより西条、将軍について教えろ。そいつはいつからお前を攻撃するようになった？
1ヶ月ぐらい前から。
話したことがあるんだな。
When I nodded in response, Sena stopped dead in her tracks and looked down at me from a few stairs up. I can see your panties from this angle, Sena-san. I averted my eyes out of reflex.
どんなことを言っていた？
I don't think she cares. A lot of things. I took a moment to tell Sena about everything Shogun had said up to that point, as well as the fake kidnapping he staged to try and scare me.
畑野という名前に聞き覚えは？
ないけど。
将軍が言っていたかもしれないだろう。よく思い出せ。
Hatano. I'd never heard the name before.
誰？
プロジェクトノアに関わっていた男だ。
I didn't know him. I didn't even know what Project Noah was.
そうか。知らないなら別にいい。
Sena turned away in a huff and resumed her climb in silence. Did he climb 100 stairs?
まだ。
We've gone up at least 20 stories with next to no breaks. I had probably never climbed up so many stairs in my entire life. I actually tried going up 40. That's not a fun experience, guys. I was exhausted. I didn't want to climb anymore. Sweat trickled down my forehead, stinging at my eyes. I wiped it over and over again with my hands, but it continued to beat no matter what I did. My legs felt heavy. I couldn't breathe. I felt like I was going to suffocate. I planted my hands on my knees in an attempt to catch my breath. Drops of sweat fell from my face and dotted the floor.
あと、どれぐらい登るの？
社長室は最上階にあるらしい。31階だ。
Imagine going to meet Norose, and by the time they get there, they were so tired because of climbing the stairs. 10 10 more floors to go. Hold on. Why was I even going along with this in the first place? All I'd done was ask Sena to protect me, so why was this happening to me? Polnareff's face appeared in the back of my mind. Polnareff? Really? Polnareff? Why? No, I don't get the reference regarding Polnareff. My heavy breathing reverberated throughout the quiet staircase. Surprisingly, Senna didn't try to go ahead after I caught up this time. Instead, she leaned against the wall and stared at me with a blank expression on her face. Seemed like she was finally letting us take a short break. Mounted above Senna was another one of the security cameras. They were installed on every floor. There was no way they hadn't found out we've been climbing the stairs by now. Security guards could arrive at any moment.
監視カメラに細工をしなかったのは、
Suddenly, Senna began to murmur something.
将軍がもし望みの人間で、このビル内にいるなら、おびき寄せることができるかもしれないと思ったからだ。
つまり、僕はおとりってわけ？
そういうことになる。もともと望みになんか興味はなかったんだけどな。このビルに乗り込むことにしたのだって、イレギュラーだ。
Okay, so Senna's philosophy about these sort of things is that the best defense is the best offense.
も
I
ちろ
get
ん、
it.
いつかはプロジェクトノアを潰そうとは思っていたが、それは今じゃない。それよりも優先しなくちゃいけないことがあった。
Obviously, she'd become awfully talkative all of a sudden. Was she finally going to explain why we were here? But Senna didn't reveal what that something else was.
お前の話を聞く限り、その将軍は何かを知ってる。あるいは、畑野のことも。
For a split second, her face stiffened upon saying that name. Were they really that terrible of a person?
安心しろ、西条。これは交換条件だ。お前におとりになってもらう代わりに、私はお前を守る。それにお前だって、将軍の正体を知りたいだろ？脅威を排除するには、こちらから攻撃。
Senna abruptly stopped. She then frowned, stepped away from the wall, and readied her gigantic Di Sordo, right in the middle of this narrow, cramped stairway. Yeah, she embodied the best defense is the best offense.
どうしたの？
Senna didn't answer. She peered down the stairwell, then up, only to freeze in place.
この声、どこから？
A voice?
お前、何者だ！
She suddenly shouted. I thought she might be shouting at the security camera, but her gaze was directed further upward, toward the ceiling. It couldn't be. I had a bad feeling about this. Unable to resist the bait, I looked up at the ceiling, and naturally there was nothing there. After all, I couldn't hear the voice, but I had a good idea of what it was. Shogun. He was reading our minds using some satellite up in the sky, and he was making Sena hear some kind of voice.
セナ、その声を聞いちゃダメだ。セナ！
I promptly grabbed hold of her shoulder and shook her.
将軍は、望みの人間じゃないらしい。
I was right. She had heard Shogun's voice.
騙されてる。あいつは敵だよ。信じちゃダメだ。
音だ。
My hands were still gripping her shoulders. She responded by grabbing her wrist tightly. Her nails dug in deep, shooting pain throughout my entire body. Her face twisted in.
西条、音がしている。気をつけろ。
Oh no, they have a schism moment. Oh my god, they have a delusion attack. A flash of light burst into my head, and from that light, an image came forth. A dark room, a puddle of blood staining the floor, a modern art piece resembling that of a crucifix. I can't tell if Shogun or it was Norase who was sending this image. Someone was bound there, with their head lightlessly hanging down, their clothes stained in blood, their right hand cruelly severed. I've seen it. I've seen it clearly. That was, without a doubt, Nanami.
ナナミがこのビルのどこかに。
She had been kidnapped by Shogun. Her wrist. That wasn't a delusion. It was real. I had to find her. I wasn't able to save her before, and now Sena was suffering too. So I had to find her. This time for sure, I had to do something.
落ち着け西条。これは罠の可能性が。
Wait, I'll be right back. Before something starts, I really need to, I need to go. All right, let's continue. Oh shit! I only have 30 minutes left. Let's hope this next 30 minutes is gonna be good, because I have to leave in 30 minutes.
さっき君だって将軍の言葉を信じたじゃないか。
I violently shook Sena's hands off me. The presidential office was on the 31st floor.
違う。音を聞け。将軍の干渉とは別の妄想だ。
Oh no! They're being attacked by a porter. I ignored her and sprinted up the stairs. This was no time to complain about my exhaustion. I was desperate. Nanami was suffering, and it was my fault. It was all my fault. I failed her back then. I'd run away. She must resent me. Forgive me. I'm a pathetic excuse of an older brother. Damn it. I wanted power. I wanted a disorder like Sena's. Why? Why couldn't I get my hands on one? It was all I asked for. Nanami, don't die. I'm begging you. I think it's totally possible for him to get the D-sword at this point. If he sees Nanami straight up, like in her situation, and he sees the sword, he might be able to do it. But let's see. Let's see how this route goes.
ナナミ
I made it to the giant 31st floor, and there was only one entrance to it. Wasting no time, I flung it open and dove straight through. And just like that, I was in the very same room that I saw in the vision. Several monitors hung from the ceiling, each displaying the word Nozomi on the white background. I looked all over for Nanami. The room was so dark that I couldn't make anything out clearly, but
ナナミ
there was no signs of light. No movement, no breathing, nothing at all.
西条。
Chasing after me, Sena flew through the open door. She forcibly grabbed my hand.
今すぐ出るぞ。これは罠だ。
だってナナミが。
聞こえないのか、この音が。
Suddenly, the door that we left open slammed shut all on its own. The room grew even darker.
しまった。
Oh no. How are they gonna deal with this, man? She ran to the door and wrestled with the knob, but it refused to budge. Then the outline of the disorder in her hand suddenly faded to nothing. It was almost as if it had completely dissolved.
閉じ込められた。
だったら力を使えばいいじゃないか。
うまく妄想できない。
Sena's face twisted. She rubbed her temples and weakly shook her head. I was getting a headache. I only noticed it when I regained my focus. It wasn't severe by any means, but the minor pain it seemed to reverberate from the very center of my head, an ache that throbbed and throbbed and throbbed. I feel kind of lightheaded. Nanami, where are you? Is this one of Shogun's traps? Is Shogun my ally? What kind of company is Nozomi Technology? Sena had such small What? I don't care, man. If she was the best girl, I don't care. Who's Hatano anyway? Weird, I'm losing my train of thought.
バイオ周波数攻撃を受けているぞ。
The display on the two of the monitors overhead suddenly changed. In place of the Nozomi logo, the faces of two middle-aged men appeared, one on each monitor.
まったく最近の若者は恐れ知らずだな。もちろん悪い意味でだが。
いかにも。おそらく井ノ原先生が推進したゆとり教育の産物だろうね。
私はただ300人委員会のプランを実行したまでだがな。世界人間牧場計画の一環としては悪くないプログラムだったよ。
Oh yeah, boy! The backstory of this universe! What was going on? Who are these people?
それを潰したのも井ノ原先生だというのがなんとも滑稽なところだ。300人委員会も予想外だっただろうね。
私と倉持先生の野心も知らず、のうのうと世界を牛耳っているつもりなのだろうが、そんな連中に対するある種の宣戦布告だったんだよ、あれは。
世界を掌握するのに300人も必要ない。我ら2人で十分なのだからね。
What were those two talking about? Then, right as I was thinking that, the two men on the monitor turned their stares to me.
それにしてもノロセが言っていた通りだったね。まさかここまで馬鹿正直に網にかかる者がいたと。
1週間も放置しておけば衰弱してろくに抵抗もできなくなろう。それから拷問しようとしゃれ込もうではないか。
畑野瀬名はすでにコードサンプル取得済みと資料にはある。
Hatano. Sena? Who was that?
洗脳を施した方が良さそうだ。我らの兵士とし。
兵士兼慰み者だな。ギガロマニアックスの少女を奴隷とするなど実に気分が良さそうではないか。
Man, these guys are straight up perverts, man.
井ノ原先生もお好きだね。
Is there a fight as mine? What is this? Well, you know, they're degenerates, basically. A fellow man of culture, as they say.
ではギガロマニアックスの諸君、監禁生活をせいぜい楽しみたまえ。
1週間が経つ頃にはプロジェクトノアにより世界は大きく変わっていることだろう。その変革の瞬間を見ることができない君たちに同情するよ。
The old man disappeared from the monitors, and the room was covered in darkness once again. It had been a trap. It had all been a trap. To think two grown men, one of which I was sure a member of the House of Representatives, would join forces just to trap some random otaku freak like me. This couldn't be real. It had to be a fucking joke. Nanami wasn't here. She had to be imprisoned somewhere else. I felt absolutely pathetic for playing right into their hands. If I had known this would happen, I would have just listened to... bro, you should have just calmed down, man.
衆議院議員と天聖振興会の教祖が300人委員会の一員だったとはな。
Sena slammed her shoulder against the entrance again and again, but it refused to give in. It'll probably been probably locked from outside, and seeing as it was extremely sturdy, trying to burst it open was likely impossible.
300人委員会
Anyway, if I remember correctly, wasn't that the name of the organization which occasionally popped up in conspiracy theories? Did it actually exist?
よく考えてみればそれも納得だ。もともと沈黙の兵器の理論を作ったのは300人委員会なんだからな。
さっきのおっさんたちが言ってたプロジェクトノアって何？
Having given up, Sena stepped away from the door in defeat. She surveyed the dimly lit room with a sullen expression.
のぞみテクノロジーが進めている沈黙の兵器開発計画だ。
沈黙の兵器？
一言で言うなら広範囲に作用するマインドコントロール装置だな。思考統率、視覚投影、五感制御。肉体的には損傷を与えることはない。音もないし、色もないし、匂いもしない。目にも見えない。だが確実に多くの人の精神をゆっくりと静かに汚染していく。誰にも気づかれないまま攻撃は完了しているんだ。
まるでギガロマニアックスの力みたいじゃないか。
当然だ。沈黙の兵器はギガロマニアックスを人工的に生み出そうという考えから始まったんだからな。
It was all so insane that it didn't even feel real. But in the end, that was just the way things were. I was no hero, even if I was told that an insane conspiracy such as that was true, and it was currently unfolding in Shibuya. I wouldn't feel the slightest urge to stand against it. Even if I were to go out and fight, I wouldn't be able to help anyone. I'd just leave it to someone who was actually useful. Maybe, just maybe, the New Gen incidents, as well as the endless string of bizarre events that had been plaguing me, were all related to this Project Noah. If that was the case, I would need to leave Shibuya as soon as possible in order to protect myself. All I wanted was for Nanami to be safe, me to be safe, and for us to live in peace. That was all I wished for. He totally forgot about his parents, but I guess all he cares about is Nanami anyway. For that to happen, I needed to find a way out of here. I couldn't stand the thought of being stuck in a place like this for upwards of a week, especially with there being no sign of any food or water anywhere. Oh, so that's what those old guys have been talking about. If we didn't eat or drink for an entire week, we'd inevitably start to break down. Worst case scenario, we could even die.
セナ、なんとかここから脱出する方法を考えてよ。
扉は開かない。
Sena looked utterly exhausted.
ディソードは
I think this is also part of their plan to also get Takumi to manifest his T sword, because they need his code sample, right? So this actually falls in line with the stuff they've been doing to get people to awaken their gigomaniac power.
な
Maniac
ぜ
suit.
か出せなくなった力を封じられたか沈黙の兵器で攻撃されているぞ西条
A silent weapon attack? The hell? Are you saying there's no way out? Sena, with a look of your exhaustion, slumped down to the floor.
大丈夫？
そう体がだるいそれになんだか妙な気持ちだ胸の奥が締め付けられるよ
Her breathing shallow, Sena undid a few buttons of her uniform. Even in the dark, I could see that her skin was drenched in sweat. Despite our situation, I found myself getting flustered. Come to think of it, it did feel pretty hot in here. Oh, that's really dangerous. They're making them sweat. So they would get thirsty and exhausted early.
なあ水を持ってないか
Of course I didn't, but I was getting thirsty too, and fast. The thought of spending a full week in this heat without a drop of water made me feel utterly hopeless. Sena was staring fixedly at me. I knew there was no way I'd be able to maintain eye contact with a 3D girl, so I desperately looked away, but I could still hear her gaze piercing through me. Don't look.
水はないよ。
When I answered, I took a quick glance at Sena. Our eyes met. Hold on. What was up with those shimmering eyes of hers? She almost looked like a love-struck maiden or some shit. Well, I was both a virgin and I never had a girlfriend before, so I didn't know that actually happened in reality. Panicking, I turned my back to Sena and gulped down my building saliva. By the way, this is the worst thing you could ever do to deal with thirst, so...
おかしい気をつけろ西条感情を操作されているかもしれない
Huh?
それどういう？
お前を見ていると切ない気持ちになってくるんだくそふざけた攻撃を
So, the attack involved making Sena feel like she fallen in love with me. Or could it be that she already had feelings for me to begin with? Yeah, no way in hell. Use your brain, Takumi.
感情を操作って一体どんな仕組みで？
人の感情なんて結局脳を流れる電気信号でしかないんだ
Well, considering that Sena is the most emotional of all the 7, this is gonna go well, if you know what I
その
mean.
電気信号に干渉する技術は世界中で研究されてる案外とっくに実用化されてるかもしれないましてや沈黙の兵器ノア2なら造作もないことだ分かっただろう世界は電気仕掛けだと私が言った意味が
Does that mean it's like a program? Like lines up ones or zeros? It'll be incredibly easy to tamper with something like that. It's a scientifically proven fact that electronic signals run through our brains. So in reality, not only our emotions, but both mind and the soul are reducible to mere electronic signals. Wait a second. That's no different from 2D, is it? For example, let's look at the heroine from an eroge, Lizlet from ESO. Wait, she's not a heroine from she's not a heroine from an eroge. Anyway, the anime version of Seiratan and Sena. Oh, okay. So he's just listing down. Sorry. What's the difference between the 4 of them? If what Sena says about everything in the world being an electronic device is true, then there are no differences. They're all the same. Mere electronic signals running through a device. I felt like I finally, a bit vaguely, understood why Sena had used the word error. If all that was true, then this Noah 2 weapon would be like some super deadly virus, or someone who uses cheats in order to PK. Not even Nightheart could win against those kinds of people. Not only that, but compared to Nightheart, I was ridiculously I was a ridiculously shitty playable character. So in the end, being trapped here and starving to death like a pathetic loser. Well, that was a pretty fitting game over for me.
僕が悪いんじゃない。死亡フラグ立てまくってる。僕の中の人が悪いんだ。
Interesting line of thought, bro. Curling my head, I curled into a ball. Around 28 hours have passed since we first got and locked in here. During that time, I dozed off and lost consciousness countless of times. I've been overwhelmed by a surge of uncontrollable emotions, with depression, mania, and other similar feelings, leaving me mentally exhausted. Sena and I haven't said a single word to each other the entire time. She pretty much had been completely and entirely useless ever since we got locked up, really. The final ray of hope was the PC. Aside from the ones that showed the detestable faces of the Diet member and the religion's founder, there were a ton of other monitors decorating the room. Oh shit, I have to leave in 10 minutes. Oh man. And every one of them was connected to a single PC. Since the PC was connected to the internet, I tried posting a bunch of SOS messages on various boards, but it had all been in vain. I hadn't been able to post anything at all. The PC could just download just fine, but uploading was completely throttled. Any attempts to send chat messages or emails were quickly snuffed out. Under the orders of those two old guys, someone somewhere had to have been watching us. But why were they letting us access any information at all? I would soon learn the answer to that question. A few hours after starting to gather info online, I checked the article tabs on Taboo on a whim. Riots break out at Shibuya Scramble Crossing. An article with that title caught my eye. And immediately after that, it happened. Oh, the third melt happens. Nice. It all began with a tremor from below, the floor. No, the very building itself started to shake violently. The very next moment, I was struck with a violent ringing in my ears. It was an intensely shrill, resonant sound. My head felt like it was about to burst open. I looked at Sena, who was covering her ears in agony. And then, a thunderous roar. The entire building trashed around violently as if the world itself was trying to make a giant milkshake. Unable to stay upright anymore, I tumbled over, and my back crashed against the wall. Sena was crouched down in the center of the room, curled into a ball. And above her head, the monitor affixed to the ceiling was swinging back and forth like a pendulum. The world suddenly went into slow motion. The swaying of the monitor slowed down. With a dull sound, the aluminum pole holding the monitor snapped, and it fell down, ever so slowly, towards Sena. It was a feeling I had experienced once before. It was exactly like when Ayase had jumped off the school roof. She was going to die. If the giant monitor fell on her head, Sena would die. I couldn't make it in time. There were roughly 5 meters between us. Besides, I didn't have the courage to risk my life to save a 3D girl anyway. Even so, a delusion flared to life inside my head. In that delusion, I kicked off the shaking floor, bolted over to Sena, and threw my arms around her in a magnificent save. And all of that happened in an instant. In just the blink of an eye, my body teleported over to Sena, threw its arms around her, and tumbled to the floor. Oh my god, Takumi really is a really strong Gigamaniacs. Like, if he does this in the final battle, if he's able to teleport like that shit, that would be insane, man. I mean, he was already able in his fight against Suwa. That was straight up bullshit. He literally convinced Suwa that he was attacking Takumi, but he was attacking himself. So that was already pure bullshit already on itself. The sound of the monitor crashing on the ground echoed right beside my ear. Even though the room had been so dark before, my field of vision was dyed white. Along with the ear-splitting sound of an explosion, I was slammed with an even greater impact than before, and with that, my last thread of consciousness was severed. How long had I been out? My consciousness drifted in and out of deep slumber. I felt a ticklish, slightly annoying tingle on the tip of my nose, and upon noticing that ever so slightly warm sensation, I slowly opened my eyes.
Ah,
Nice. This is a nice CG, man. Sena's face was only a few inches from mine. Her long hair draped over my cheeks. Her faint breaths blew right against my nose. Her eyes were closed, but her eyelashes were quivering. She must have only lost consciousness. We were really close. If I wanted to, I could have easily moved in and kissed her. I frantically tried to skirt away, but my body wouldn't move. That was when I finally realized what exactly had happened. Keeping my head completely still, I tried to survey my surroundings, but it was pitch black. I couldn't make out anything. It felt like a thin film had been draped over my field of vision, but there was no film. It was just a cloud of dust. We had been buried in rubble. So it wasn't that I couldn't see anything around me. It was that there weren't any gaps in the rubble at all. No matter what direction I looked, I couldn't find a single opening. We had been lodged in an extremely cramped pocket of space beneath the rubble. Whenever I tried to force my hands or legs to move, I hear the sound of pebbles crumbling to the ground. The sound made me realize I couldn't move or do anything at all. Cold sweat beaded on my forehead. Had there been an earthquake or something? Shibuya had witnessed a lot of those recently, but maybe they had all been foreshocks. And so, this could have been the biggest earthquake to hit Tokyo since the Great Kanto earthquake. Did that mean Nozomi Building had collapsed? The terrorist attack that happened in America several years came to mind, bringing an intense wave of hopelessness with it. The fact that we haven't been injured yet been stuck in a crevice was probably nothing more than an insane stroke of luck. Yet being the key word. The rubble was just barely holding itself together, maintaining an extreme delicate balance. I had no way of making sure, but it was definitely possible that dozens of tons of debris were piled on top of us. If I made a single wrong move, the balance would be lost, and then the massive pile of rubble would crush us in less than a second. Imagining that as my last moment, I instantly froze in fear. I didn't want to die. I couldn't handle the idea of being crushed to death in a place like this, where nobody would ever know. Hurry up and rescue me. A rescue squad, the self-defense force, I don't care who. Just get me out of here. I tried straining my ears to see if I could hear any people around, but there was nothing but silence. A deafening, eerie silence. All I could hear was the sound of Sena's breathing. Damn it! Sleep like a goddamn baby. Why don't you? Sena was lying sprawled on top of me, our bodies tightly pressed against each other, perfectly complementing one another. Her chest, her stomach, her legs, nearly her entire body was right on top of me. She was heavy. She was heavy. Being forced to feel the softness of her arms, how slender her legs were, oh God. Naturally, I could still feel Sena's breath heating my cheek, and within it, I could smell something sweet. Perhaps because of the crunchy gari kuns she was always eating. Her breaths were deep and steady. They followed a distinct rhythm. Bro, it's already more than like 24 hours. I'm pretty sure all the gari kuns are already out, if you know what I mean. And each time she breathed, I could feel her breast faintly moving up and down directly against my body. Yeah, way to think about this right now, bro. Oh, was this some kind of torture? An attack of this magnitude would cause all sense of reason within me to crumble in 5-second stops. I need to wake her up somehow in order to avert this crisis. Wait, I'd have to wake her up? Would it be right for me to do that? I mean, if I woke her up and she saw the state we were in, how would she react? She was the same girl who regularly scowled at everyone and everything. So even though it was an accident far beyond my control, there was no doubt in my mind that she'll label me a pervert anyway. Really? You're thinking about this right now, bro? Considering she couldn't be thinking clearly, there was a very real possibility that she might rip out my throat. At this distance, taking Sena's position into account, not only could she easily do that, but I would be completely defenseless against it too. Well, that was probably a bit too extreme to be realistic. But if Sena really were to wake up in a panic, she could very well end up causing the rubble to collapse on top of us, and that'll be the end of it. What the hell was I supposed to do? If I could have ripped my hair out, I would have. But since I obviously couldn't do that, I resorted to banging the back of my head against the rubble. Through that, I was able to suppress my instinctual lust for Sena. Don't pay this wench any heed. I'm not. I never will be into 3D girls. The girls I love are all 2D. Seiratan, appear before me. Drag these worldly desires from my mind. I'm not into stuck-up bitches like her, so I won't give in to my lusts. I mustn't give in to my lust. I mustn't give in to my lust. I mustn't give in to my lust! I can't control it anymore. She's unconscious, isn't she? Surely no one will mind if I take an ample use of her while she is. How about I taste those arrogant lips of hers? The same one that do nothing but spew self-righteous bullshit. No, I shouldn't go straight for the lips. This guy. Oh my god, this guy! I'm not mentally prepared for that quite yet. In that case, how about I aim for a cheek? What does the skin of a 3D girl taste like, I wonder? Does it taste like sweet? Sweat? Or does it perhaps taste sweet? Bro, I want you to chill out. Startled, I cut off the delusion inside my head. Sena's voice leaked out of her mouth, mixing in with her breath. It was quiet as a whisper. Her voice was so soft and frail. Let me end it. Let me finish the scene, then I have to go. I would have never imagined it could come from someone who was normally so fierce and unapproachable. Her eyes were still closed. It didn't seem like she woken upon yet. She'd been talking in her sleep. I instantly felt a pang of relief, realizing she hadn't read my impure, perverted thoughts. From behind her closed eyelids, a tiny drop fell. And with a barely audible plop, it landed on my cheek. It was so very warm, and yet after only a fleeting moment, it went cold. Even Sena cried sometimes, I suppose. Not even I was starting Now even I was starting to feel sad. Had something happened between her and her father? A little worried, I timidly called out to her. With a twitch, Sena's body started to stir. Her eyes gently opened. Point blank range, our eyes met. The drowsy Sena stared at me. Her eyes were still sleepy. She didn't seem to be fully awake yet. Don't look. It's embarrassing. It didn't take long for Sena's face to turn beet red. Her eyes shot open and her gaze raced from side to side.
これはどうなってる？
Nice. Wait.
動いちゃダメだ。瓦礫に押しつぶされちゃうから。
瓦礫だと？
I explained to Sena how we have been buried alive by the earthquake.
そうか。確かあの時、すごい揺れが来て、上から大きなモニターが落ちてきて、お前が私を助けてくれたんだったな。
Oh yeah, that did happen, didn't it? Though I don't have a single clue as to how.
礼を言う。私が守ってやる約束だったんだがな。まさか西条に助けられるとは。
This is a very cliche line, bros.
もっとダメなやつだと思っていたが、意外と男らしいじゃないか。
どうも。
This is a very cliche line. I would have never thought I'd get complimented like that in a million years. It must have been the first time in my entire life I've gotten a compliment from a 3D girl. Granted, Seira-tan told me I was totally amazing all the time, but still.
だが、 この状況は良くないな。
密着してるもんね。
バカ、そうじゃないだろ。ここで生き埋めになってることの方だ。
This is literally like talking to Kazusa, man.
ごめん。
まあ、密着してるのも良くない状況だが。
セナのギガロマニアックスの力でなんとかしてよ。できるでしょ。
難しいかもしれないが、やるだけやってみよう。西条、私の目を見ろ。
なんで？
お前と私の間で周囲共通認識を作るためだ。
Did she just ask me to look into her eyes? Being squished together like this was already embarrassing enough, but doing that would completely smash my sense of reason I had left. I'd go feral. Bro, keep your keep a level mind right now, man.
ぐずぐずするな。聞こえなかったのか？私の目を見ろ。
Urged on by Sena's voice, I reluctantly obeyed. I gazed into her eyes. Then those eyes turned directly toward me. Okay, yeah, this was really embarrassing. I never made eye contact with a girl for such a long time before. I never even looked at people in the eye while talking to them in the first place, so I wasn't even close to comfortable with this. Making eye contact essentially meant that you were the only thing the other person was looking at. Right now, I was reflected in Sena's eyes, meaning I was the only thing she was looking at. I was monopolizing Sena's field of vision, and we were so close. Upon realizing that, I couldn't help but think that this embarrassing act was just as erotic as any age she ever was. Curse my Edoka brain! Don't get a hard on right now, man. Shit, I need to stop this idiotic delusions. We were making eye contact. What if Sena were to see through me? You wouldn't normally be able to read someone's thoughts just by looking into their eyes, but Kozabi could, and Sena was a gigalomaniac as well. I couldn't do this. Making eye contact with a girl was impossible.
西条、目をそらすな。
Despite her saying that, Sena's gaze weren't pointed in the right direction. Pointed in the right direction either.
僕には無理。
そうか。実は私も無理だ。
We're having this right now? You guys are in danger. What are you guys thinking about right now?
こんな近い距離じゃ照れる。
Being Sena, this is literally like I'm talking to Kazusa right now. Oh my god. Seeing Sena's stain beat red breathed some light back into me, actually. Where had all this moe come from? Was this girl not actually 3D? A girl that's cute couldn't be 3D. Sena, you're so cute, Sena. Jesus Christ, man.
熱いな。
Sena's forehead, face, and even the nape of her neck was drenched in sweat. With how close we were, I could even smell it. There was no wind or anything, either. The rubble burning us had no openings. Was there even a way for air to pass through at all? If not, we were going to run out of oxygen pretty soon. Upon thinking that, I realized that Sena's breathing had become really heavy. The rhythmic movements of her small chest on top of me had gotten much faster than before.
まさか息苦しい。
うるさい。熱いだけだ。
Damn it. What was I supposed to take from that? Whatever, just use your Gigalomaniac power already. Shouldn't you be able to make all this debris disappear like magic?
西条、お前の力でなんとかならないか。この状況じゃ私はうまく集中できない。
The hell are you on about? Don't tell me you're starting to rely on me now. How exactly do you expect me to do anything about this? Materializing a flower bed beneath Ayase and saving you earlier were both just coincidences. It's not like I did any of it on purpose, let alone consciously. Don't rely on me. I'm supposed to rely on you, Sena. When is this scene gonna end? I have to go. Also, please stop breathing all this warm air on me. It's actual torture. A drop of Sena's sweat fell into my mouth. It was salty. I bet you like that, man. I was on the verge of tears. My sense of reason was this close to flying out the goddamn window. It was in my mouth. I was holding it in my mouth. Sena's juices.
Oi, Nishijo.
Sena's face was still red, but she seemed to be a lot more angry than she was before.
お前、殺すぞ。
All I did was taste your sweat. You can't kill me for that. Besides, it's your fault for letting it drop into my mouth.
この状況でよくそんな。
In the middle of speaking, Sena buried her face in my chest, unable to bear the embarrassment. There was no way she had done it intentionally. But for me, that was the strongest blow of anything so far. Oh my god! I'm over enjoying myself right now. Yeah, so cute. Her breathing, it was passing through the gates in my clothes and directly onto my skin. Fucking hell, man, it's starting to get hot here right now as well. Quickly realizing what she'd done, Sena pulled her head back. Ah, couldn't it have lasted just a little longer?
やめろよ。お前、何を考えてるんだ。
Sena, she was obviously shaken. Maybe she was just used to being a tough person in the room, so someone else taking control really left her flustered.
今すぐ。妄想を封印しろ、西条。お前のその股間のあれが硬くなって私の太ももに当たってるんだ、バカが。
Really, man? Are you really allowing this to happen right now, bro? What? Yeah. I did feel something there. Set a soft pillowy ties.
妄想するなと言ってるだろ。
Sonia found my head on the receiving end of a brutal headbutt, and since it was a surprise attack and a mighty strong one at that, the single strike knocked me out like a light.
私はもう転生振興会に戻る気はない。
実に惜しいね。君の才能を私は買っていたのだ。
利用していたのは違いだろう。私はもうあなたの言葉は信じない。教祖としての倉持雄大な虚像でしかないと分かった。
信仰の救いを君も欲していただろう。
かつての私は欲した。だが今は違う。
では何を欲しているの？
Okay, let me finish the conversation. I have to leave.
償いのため
一度信仰に触れた者は離れることなどできない。君は離れたつもりでも信仰はいかなるものをも見捨てない。
神に頼る気はもうない。神に匹敵するものを作ってしまった私には神にすがることは許されない。
西条、起きろ、西条。
I could hear an extremely pompous conversation between two unfamiliar men. Sena's hushed shouts jutted in between the two voices, causing me to open my eyes. Unsurprisingly, we were still squished together, enclosed in the rubble with no way to escape.
君は君自身の意志でこの未来を選ぶと。全ては君の責任。 人で背負うのは重すぎるだろう。信仰の隙にもたらされれば、その重みも多少は減る。
そう、私が選んだ。信仰の導きに従った。いや、あなたの言葉に従った結果として。
誰かいる。話し声が聞こえるだろう。
And not in response. I could hear the voices of two men. Seemed like some cosmic church of divine light randos. At the very least, it definitely wasn't the rescue party. All right, I need to end stream here. Like, yeah, I think that was a that was an interesting scene. I had to go. Yeah, so I'll be back in probably like 2 to 3 hours, and we're gonna continue Sena's route. Then we'll do Rimi's route. So yeah. I hope you guys enjoyed watching, and I'll see you guys on the later stream for a continuation of Sena's route, and then Rimi's, then the true ending. Yeah, I'm not gonna be sleeping until I finish this game today. I mean, on one sitting basically.